what size did your slideshow have to be to make it fit in that space above us?
That's a good question. So, in order to do that, what I've actually done is it's a full size slideshow, but I have just used the center of the slides. So, all I've done is either side of the slide, I just haven't used the right hand and left hand proportion. I've just used a center, a strip down the center. And the way that I found out how big I wanted that to be was I took a picture of literally a photograph of my screen here, the one that we're looking at, and then dropped it into Keynote and then resized it so that I then know exactly how much space I've got on the left and the right so that I can just put the screen in the middle. And and the reason for that was that proportionally I think this looks a lot better. If I'd tried to get this into the standard Keynote format, it would be, quite squished up at the top of the screen. It looks quite small, but by just cropping off the left and right hand side, then I can get something that's really very clear in that top format, even in something as small as the vertical video sort of stage. And I think, obviously it looks pretty reasonable there. People's phones are generally getting bigger these days, but I'm thinking that looks pretty good to me. But I can change the total look and feel of this very, very easily and flick this around.
So
So
the way you designed it, you left the bottom spaced so the captions show up. Is that right?
that's exactly right. And just by designing these frames around the edge, we can allow a little bit of space for phones that suddenly are jumping in slightly different sizes and things like that.
Are you going to have some templates that we can buy, Martin?
I will have, but before this week, to be honest, I thought I'll never do any vertical video templates. And then this week I thought, actually, do you know what? I think everybody should have vertical video templates because the
Yeah.
vertical video I'm seeing looks so terrible. I think this looks way, way better, and it's pretty easy to do. And actually, there's enough room on the screen to still make it all look pretty cool.
The real estate, if you post in traditional landscape, people can scroll past your feed quite easily. And the ratio between your actual content, like whatever you can be writing, and then the video is still not enough. You want to be able to get less words, more image. On Ecamm, do we also still get every camera feed as well?
So hi, Douglas. So regarding the number of cameras and so on, so there are limits in both Zoom and interview mode, or Ecamm for Zoom, sorry, in interview mode currently. So in interview mode, you can bring up to 10 guests into your Ecamm production. And on top of that, you can bring an additional 8 Zoom guests in there as well. So if you have, for example, a Zoom workshop with 100 people, then you can only ever bring 8 of those people in at any one time from Zoom, as an example. And you have that option because in your Ecamm for Zoom window, you have all the people listed. I mean, I'm seeing everybody listed because I'm using Ecamm for Zoom as well. So I can see all of you here. And if there's 100 people, I could pick and choose, search for your name or whatever it might be, and then been able to add those to the production and bring them in and out. So it's not a static mapping, which is good. So technically, if you're having a workshop and you wanted to bring 4 people in on a panel and they have something to say, you could do that with Martin's overlays. Then you could remove them and add another 4 people, and so on and so on. So it all depends on how you want to run your production, but you can mix and match as well. We've tested where you've got people coming in from Zoom like we are now. If somebody was to join with interview mode, they could do, and they would just be brought into the production exactly the same.
But I think this is very creative on your part, and also an excellent idea to bring us together in a small group like this. So kudos to you. You're inspiring me to do a little bit more with this vertical video format. And I really haven't been on LinkedIn very much. I know that's my next place to be. So I will be switching away from Instagram and more so with YouTube and LinkedIn going forward.
There's a lot in, and the amount of work that you need to do whilst you're running the live event. But I guess you can park that to somebody else to manage the actual live feed. Or if you're doing it yourself, most of the stuff I do is by myself. Think about programming my Stream Deck to see if I can bring in some things in semi-automatically would be good as well. But no, it's fantastic. And thank you for the invite.
Be clear. So you're not actually manually switching between us. You're just allowing Zoom to make the switch as our voices start speaking, and it's using the active speaker to put that active speaker in the top window.
That's absolutely correct. And there are advantages and disadvantages to doing that. One is, the advantage is I'm hands-free here. It's doing everything for me.
If you were going to have somebody come next to you, so it would be Martin and guest, would you set those scenes up in advance if you knew you wanted to have 2 people up and 3 people up?
2 people, 3 people.
Oh, look at you.
6 people, 9 people. So yeah, they're all set up there in advance. So that's exactly what you would do. And if you wanted one with just guest number 1 on, or just guest number 2, then you could set that up in advance as well and just go between those manually, as I've done at the moment. Or if you want to be clever, you just have your Stream Deck set up with a little icon on it that's got a picture of guest 1, guest 2, guest 3, and it will actually give you a little preview of what you're about to put onto the screen.
Yeah, that's right. And there's a ton of different ways of making sure that you can do the run of show. I mean, I've got a Stream Deck pedal. I can just go to the next scene here, and I can just have a bit of text saying next question, things like that. So there's lots of ways of manipulating Ecamm to make your production run more smoothly. But yeah, the Stream Deck's a really good option.
So if I click down through my scenes, I'm using this to move between my scenes. There is no Stream Deck. There is no clever wizardry going on. I am just pressing a $15 button to move between scenes. Now, it's not going to let me jump to a specific scene or do anything clever, but if you've got a sequence of scenes sitting there, then it's a very easy way to do things.